Hello, everybody. I hope I am. Hope I'm visible and my La Sombre Bane isn't ruining everything. I didn't check my microphone because I'm the best at what I do. Hello, hi. We're back playing WTA, Werewolf the Apocalypse, the Book of Hungry Names. I am super excited to finally be playing again. I want to get. It is so difficult. I am super tempted to go buy this on mobile on my Android just so I can play it, but I don't want to do that because I want to be blind playing. But I want to play so bad. I just play it all day because I want to know the secrets. I want to know the stories. I am audible and visible. Thank you. So what did we do yesterday? Yesterday we furnished our apartment or our cabin. That's super important. We sort of did a little research on the other two werewolves, Garu, that we're interested in speaking with. We also were called mentally deficient by our boss, who didn't pay us nearly enough, and then when we called him out on it, took some of our money away. We also tried to go to, I think, Broadbrook Cairn and couldn't because something is preventing us from finding it. We also met Noodle Lady, who was really nice to us. One of the few people in this world who's nice to us. Yeah. No longer living like a goblin, that's right. And now, Daphne Clear, the Glasswalker, who I don't like so far, is finally allowed us to go and search for these werewolves. And we're going to look for Nin first, because I want to. And Nin is a child of Gaia, lupus-born Garu, who has lost the wolf, which is absolutely horrifying. So tragic and terrible. I couldn't even imagine it. But yeah, we're gonna go to their music show. their band's playing, so let's do it. You check that post-host flyer. Hog Throne is open tonight in Hadley, and Saint Homunculus is playing. Spikes bursting through grid. That's us, right? Did we pick spikes bursting through grid? That's us. Elton, are you up for a trip to Hadley? To find Nin? Yeah, let's go take in a Hog Throne show. I've done some research, but apart from Bandcamp, there's very little online. I think Hog Throne has problems with the police. Or maybe Nin doesn't want Daphne creeping on her. That's fair enough. I wouldn't want her creeping on me either, but I can't help it. I heard that. Oh, Daphne, get out of here. This is private business. Yeah, fuck off, you nerd. I'm totally going to say that to her, too, because why not? I don't want to get in trouble for it. This nerd knows something you don't. The cult of Fenris is back. Of course they are. I think when we went exploring around, either when we were trying to find the cairn or we were exploring just the area around where the cairn was, I think it mentioned that we saw some scribblings of Cult of Fenris stuff. Yeah. They're the fallen tribe, right? They turned against the Litany and the Garu Nation. Or Garu Nation. They consider themselves to be all that's left of the Garu Nation. To them, the other tribes have grown soft and weak. They view all of us as traitors and cowards, tainted by corruption and weakness. And you take that seriously? No, Elton, my opinion on the cult is the same as yours, and for similar oh god, I hate the way she talks. For similar eminently practical reasons, they're nasty, cretinous little bigots, but they're bigots who believe that they have a coherent ideology. Don't they all? Are they threatening Nin? That's essentially it, Elton. Fenris is moving on Nin because he thinks she's weak, and from what I've learned, she is. From what I can gather, Nin has permanently lost the wolf. This is not the temporary embarrassment we all suffer, especially glasswalkers. This might be permanent damage. She's lost her rage? Then she's useless to us. No, I can't be that mean to Nin. I've never even met her. Or met him. Or them. Is it? I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. Where'd she see it last? Yeah, I should totally say that. That sounds more like me. Yep. How droll. Whatever. My point is that Nin may be too psychologically damaged to rejoin your little pack after whatever she suffered during the Battle of Graves Farm. On the other hand, we cannot leave her to the mercy of the cult. This is useful information. Thank you, Elton. I'm glad someone understands that I'm actually trying to help. You now have 3 useful pieces of information. The cult of Fenris is trying to claim territory in the valley. Nin has lost the wolf to a degree none of us have ever experienced, and your online communications are vulnerable to intrusion by spider. Use them however you wish. I'm going to call Roscoe. We'll take his van to Hadley. Sierra, be ready to depart in 1 hour. What did we say, Elton? Your priority when arriving in Northampton was surviving the winter, but the nights are less brutal now, and you are going to a party after all. Maybe you should get something new to wear. You could hit Main Street, and I might as well be a bonar at this point. You could hit Main Street and buy $20 worth of party clothes from a thrift store, then Roscoe could pick you up in the middle of town. Something barbaric and intimidating. I don't want to look like a werewolf, but I want the kids at this party to know I'm not one of them. I want to do the opposite of hello, of how do you do, fellow kids. Though I feel like I should save my money. Though I'm not one, I plan to blend in with the local boys. Hunter camo, which I see. No, we're not doing that. Hunter camo, are you not? Party dress. Finally, an excuse to dress cute. I think I'll do something barbaric and intimidating just to make Elton uncomfortable. That seems fun. Isn't like some of the bands like really hardcore names? That seems fun. I've heard people wear nice clothes to parties, look for but this isn't a party. This is going to, it's not a party though, is it? It says party, but this is a band. We're gonna go see a band. That's not like a party to me. I want to wear something barbaric and intimidating. Yeah, it's a metal rock show. I guess most appropriate is black on black. Well, we don't do appropriate things here, Matt. Even if it was something barbaric and intimidating. I picked it. I did it. We've done it. Now we move on. You walk into town, reaching the town center just as a bunch of lunch places close, so you can grab leftovers for your dinner and then trawl up and down Main Street. So I like waste money on clothes, but then I go dumpster diving for lunch. Priorities. Even at 5 p.m., it's over 80 degrees. You haven't worn your shell jacket in weeks, even at night, though you know your shopping trip should include new warm weather clothes as well as an outfit for tonight's party. It's not a party. The streets are quiet with the colleges empty for summer. Maybe that'll drive prices down. In the 2 hours you have before Roscoe arrives, you hit thrift shops, consignment stores, one picked clean estate sale, and the dorms around Smith College looking for anything serviceable. You know you're not human and that your rage will always prevent you from living among them, even if you wanted to. You dig around in dumpsters until you turn up some good stuff. Brown leather jacket, ancient leather boots. A gray dress, concessions not to gender presentation, but to the practical needs of shapeshifting. Some extra gloves for when the temperature drops again, and some ragged shirts. There, that'll keep the normals away. You text Roscoe that you're downtown and he picks you up, then rolls around the corner to pick up someone you only vaguely know, another old burnout called Fornum. Roscoe tells you that Fornum was a promoter in San Diego during the golden age of West Coast punk. That's slightly less interesting than the burrito Elton gives you, which you eat as you roll. Sometimes, because of my fast-paced lifestyle, I need to shove food in my mouth like a bear. Will this accommodate my needs? The van retraces your last trip to Hadley to investigate Jasper Heaney as Fornum plays a CD of local metal bands from the 90s. Normally, Elton says, speaking quietly so Fornum doesn't overhear, I'd want to patrol these lands in lupus form. We've neglected them for too long. Also, you need to practice running across a footbridge when bicyclists aren't using it, but I don't want to miss the show. Okay. Nonetheless, as Roscoe turns onto a badly paved road, Elton peers out the window and says, stop the van. You roll to a halt. Elton snarfs the rest of his burrito, then pulls the van door open and almost instantly disappears among the trees. What's up? Fornum asks. Stay here, Roscoe tells Fornum, as you follow Elton into the woods. Who's throwing away a perfectly good leather jacket? I know, right? Winning loyalty with burritos. You find the Theurge standing in a grassy field just barely screened by the budding spring trees. It rained all last week, but now the mud at Elton's feet is dry enough that it's starting to crack. He's wearing his familiar frock coat when he turns to note your arrival. His white mezzanine t-shirt is a pale blur in the fading light. Beyond him, spherical structures of brick between 5 and 8 feet high dot the field. More are visible in the forest. The wind whistles among the bricks, and it sounds like a woman screaming. Elton hesitates, then forces himself to examine the structures. This close, you can see the remains of glyphs covering some bricks, but every one has been effaced, smoothed away. Screaming women are bad news, even when they're metaphors. I go back to the van for my machete. No. The outdoor bread oven graveyard. At last, we found it. I'm such a jerk. Why hasn't anyone killed me yet? Not quite, Sierra, Elton says, though this is a graveyard of sorts. Ages ago, the Garu of the Broad Brook Cairn fought the enemy armies of the worm here. We won, but then the dreams came, dreams and nightmares leaking into the waking world. Some things, Elton says, running his fingers over another crumbling brick, don't die all the way. They stop, but they don't go away. Even the most defiled Banes will return to Gaia in time, but these were the spiritual equivalent of styrofoam. Can't recycle them, right? All we could do was wall them off where they died so their undying corpses didn't leak into the surrounding umbra. Elton is about to say more, but then he frowns and stalks around a dried-up mud pool to another of the brick beehives, this one covered in vines. Gaps are visible in the brickwork. You can't see anything inside, only blackness, but the smell is rank, like someone wrapped a dead raccoon in bubble wrap and burned it. They're falling apart, and I don't know how to fix them, Elton says. That's why we're going to find Nin. We need a child of Gaia to really start healing this land. There's nothing I can do here. Let's get back on the road. The van rolls past fields of corn, asparagus, and marijuana, past a gas station with pumps so old that it still has a physical price display that spins like a slot machine. I love those. To a boarded-up white farmhouse with a rusted trailer in front and a red tobacco barn rotting out back. Tonight only this barn is hog-thrown. You'd feared that 8 o'clock was unfashionably early for a show, but these are farmers' kids, and the party is already lit. Fornum takes out an old flip phone and asks if the bands need help getting ready. Roscoe tells you to bail as he rolls onto a field of stubbly grass and negotiates for parking among the old and new trucks and the retro sports cars from the early 2000s. There's a big age range among the crowd leading for Hogthrone. Kids younger than you with neon hair and pronoun pins, unironic. Then college students up from UMass or Amherst, not even bothering to get dressed up, jeans or yoga pants with hoodies. Millennial hipsters with sleeve tattoos and pronoun pins, ironic. Carrying, I'm too, like, I'm not funny enough to understand what they mean by ironic and unironic, and I don't need to, it's fine. Just, a lot of times Kyle uses big words too, and I just breeze past him because I don't know what he means. Carrying their own beer in plastic coolers, keep apart from the prematurely aged rural poor, ex-channers with cold eyes and grubby Carhartt jackets and low-slung caps. Then the serious music geeks in their 40s and 50s still making the circuit, though the golden age of blogging has passed, and so has the golden age of guitar rock. Some of their teenage kids with them who are already trying to escape their parents and hook up. A smattering of old burnouts like Roscoe and Fornum, still chasing the high they remember from Fish concerts, or maybe even that old tie-dye band. Walking Dead, Dead Bears? You forget the name. The Grateful Dead. Come on. I know we're supposed to be like 18 or whatever. The once stately white farmhouse, now a boarded-up ruin covered in weeds, holds the bands and most of their equipment. Nin is in there somewhere, but for now, you and Elton join the line that leads to the barn's small door on the west side of the barn. That's the main entrance since the bands use the south door. Boom! Chapter 3. Music from another time. I made it. I did it. Woodcutter, cut my shadow from me. Free me from the torment of seeing myself without fruit. Why was I born among mirrors? From Federico Lorca's Song of the Barren Orange Tree. Interesting. Oh, God. Where the hell is Elton? A second ago, you were both standing in line to get in, but the Theurge has disappeared. Aren't Brits supposed to be good at queuing? I have to remember that. A wall of sound from inside the barn rattles your leather boots, screaming guitars, and a vocalist who sounds like he's getting flayed alive. Right this way, Mr. Gorski, you hear a security guard say. No, what? You turn and see your boss from the groundskeeping job, whom you've never actually met. He's stepping around you and the others in line with an expression of distaste on his pale face, led by a tall man in a hog-thrown t-shirt. Mr. Gorski stops when he sees you, dark eyes boring into yours. He obviously recognizes you. You take the opportunity to look your employer up and down. Pallid skin, unmoving expression, clothes... He's a vampire. Clothes decades out of date, a vile stench, worse than an open grave. And as his eyes bore into yours, great Gaia, you know exactly what you're looking at. A hippie. I feel like I'm making her stupider. It is indeed not very groovy to cut in line. It's a kindred, which was pretty obvious by the state of the place. Oh, brother. Good evening, Miss September, Mr. Gorski says, stopping as he's led past the line. What a pleasure to see you out and about. I trust you will not exhaust yourself tonight and find yourself unable to work when the sun rises. That's why we've never seen him. Something weird about this guy. How come you're 25 but you're dressed like you want to piss off Nixon? Oh my god! You look like you just fell out of that 70s show. I'm dead. Some fashions are timeless, Sierra. Yeah, but not this one, Mr. Gorski says. One day this style will be recognized as eternal and perfect, like me. But then, of course, you will be dust. He doesn't know who he's fucking talking to. Holy shit. He smiles serenely and glides past the line and walks inside. Eternal and perfect? What the hell was he talking about? Probably a Hendrix lyric or something. Hippies are weird. Goddamn hippies! Anyway, you finally reach the front of the line and pay your $5 to get in. I'm sorry. I understand that Clay and Blacktarn and Scarper were not great people. I get that. Like, on the surface, I get it. You telling me that there wasn't a single moment of a single day at any point they could have offhandedly mentioned that, like, the most numerous supernatural that, like, that you'd probably run into, that is a piece of shit, is a vampire? You think they would have offhandedly mentioned it once? No? Alright. Mr. Vice does feel like a potential nasty ghoul. Yeah. Brother. The sonic assault is immediate as you step inside. It sounds like Elvis and a bag of wrenches fell into a combine harvester. The lead singer is dressed like Hermes, the Greek god, with a ducktail, a rhinestone-studded leather jacket, and a magic wand. This must be Psycho Pompadour, the rockabilly band. From what you've learned while standing in line, the schedule is Psycho Pompadour hosting a drag king show, then Skritty Legati, then Nin's band. You push past the winner of the drag king contest, a leather-clad figure with a huge white wig and pantaloons made of motorcycle parts named Bonnie Prince Harley. I get that reference. Instead of Bonnie Prince Charlie, I get that. And look for Elton, but he's already vanished into the crowd. Your hunt for David Baninsky also involved the Fomor hunting you, through an unfamiliar city in the depths of winter. By contrast, the crowd here seems friendly, despite your quietly simmering rage. You don't spend a lot of time around friendly people. You permit yourself to relax for a few minutes, listening to the jangling rockabilly music, and get a feel for the place. It's much less threatening than old war stories about Hog Throne's early days led you to imagine. There's an actual stage here with curtains and spotlights. There's even a kid-friendly zone away from the bar for the under-18s called the Ball Pit. But as Psycho Pompadour shifts from this soul-lottle shaking going on, God, to Yamamama, you remember that you're here to find Nin. She's probably in the farmhouse getting ready. It's guarded, but not by ex-commandos or anything, it just shows security. But you need to be careful to avoid trouble. You might also want to, I would say, where the hell is Elton? You might also want to track down Elton, he might already be in trouble. And what about the cult of Fenris? The local dirtbags might know where the cultists are. And speaking of local dirtbags, what if you're out of a job on Monday because that little freak who runs Gorski Manor has a bad trip? Maybe it's time to look for a side gig. No, I want to stay and see if he's a vampire. What about the cult of Fenris? I patiently, carefully talked to various... This went so well last time, where I walked up and say, hello, fellow creeps. Creeps and lowlifes, and see what they know. Let's just see what happens. I have, like, no charisma. I'm pretty positive. Skritty Legati. You grew up in a hick town, but you're 20 minutes east of Buffalo, so you always went into a city for shows. Everything from live concerts to the latest Fast and Furious movies. But it's different here. In every direction around Hadley, Hadley is 20 minutes from more places that look like Hadley. And though more than half the crowd is here from the colleges or nearby towns, the rest are dangerously bored rural kids. Gosh, so judgmental. Bumpkins, hicks, hayseeds, yahoos, persons of rurality. In a lot of ways, you're one of them, but you don't know anyone here. Your best attempts to strike up conversations go nowhere. Even just 100 miles east of where you grew up, the particular combination of dead-eyed apathy and frantic intensity cultivated by the rural doomed is just a tiny bit different. You can't recreate it no matter how hard you try. You back off before you draw the wrong kind of attention. Always successful when I have to talk to them. Always successful when I have to try and blend into a crowd. It always works. You mean we're not making friends? We're all so surprised. Someday I will make a friend, and not just a friend who gives me pity burritos. The Drag King show ends with Bonnie Prince Harley crowning a new prince consort to general applause. Everyone throws empty Borgs at them like it's rice at a wedding as Psycho Pompadour plays them out. This sounds like my nightmare, honestly. I'd be so out of place. Then a horrible puppet drops from the rafters and starts chattering in a high-pitched synthetic voice as a new band heads for the stage. You recognize the horrible puppet from Lucinda's studio. This must be Skritty Legati. Little Nas X. Little Nas X plays through the tiny, tinny speakers as the next band gets ready. The metalheads boo theatrically, but younger people hit the dance floor. Don't boo! I love Little Nas X. It's so nice to be in a warm barn, tail swishing. Wait, those aren't your thoughts. They're mine. Hello again. It's been a while. Not really. Note my grace as I wend through the tall grass to sit before you and lick my paw. I look much better than last time, don't I? So you got me here, and I've met Elton. You brought me here for a reason. Now what? Now you start putting the pieces together and find a way to repair what has been broken, if that's even possible. Finding Nin is only the first step, and only the first piece of the puzzle. She saw things, terrible things, during the Battle of Graves Farm. They all did. By virtue of what I am, I cannot put disparate perspectives together to understand the whole. You can, Sierra. Hey, I know you, someone says from behind you. A kid a few years younger than you pushes through the crowd, skinny, pierced, dressed in a ratty purple Baja hoodie with buttons that read they, them. Epicycle bikes know the path. And Sierra Freak. Hey. Is that a reference to me? You're Sierra, right? They say. You work at Gorski Manor. I deliver meals there. You've probably seen me. I'm here to cover Hog Throne and the mess with all the other clubs. They look pretty cool. I like their hair. Oh, is Nin the first packmate you are recruiting? Yes, I am in the process of attempting to do so. I am not good at when I have to do the talking to the people who are not myself. So we'll see how it goes. Do the other clubs not live up to their name? Because we're on a farm and I haven't seen a single hog. This is the problem because I picked these options. Boom. They actually used to have a big paper... Oh, wait, okay, maybe this person is awkward as me. They actually used to have a big papier-mâché throne, Nomi says, but someone stole it. There was a much stronger hog theme and or vibe when they were in Northampton. I've been following Hog Throne since before I moved out here, actually. In addition to my bike courier job, I actually do some investigative reporting, Nami says. I have a byline in Cahoots. They show you the website on their phone. The O's in Cahoots are two crazy-looking eyes. Seems reputable. We're an online rebunking service dedicated to revealing the strange truth about the world. And the tinfoil hat is free, Nomi says. And I'm here because there's all sorts of strangeness around Hog Throne. Some kind of real estate deal went bad last year and had all sorts of aftershocks through the valley. Hog Throne was just a part of that. Right. My Arun Black Fury playthrough makes it hard for me to talk to people as well, but I murder them accidentally instead of being socially awkward. Yeah, I'm a ragabash with no charisma. Worst bard ever. Speaking of the boot, try not to step on my feet. I take their hand and lead them onto the dance floor. Ooh, that could be the smoothest thing I've ever done. Oh, and I'll probably, like I said, I don't play with the storyteller mode on, so I don't know when rolls are being required or not. And I could fail this roll miserably and make a total fool out of myself, so I have to do it. Boom. The dance floor is in chaos, and not in a really cool way. Right now, it's a confused melange of metalhead moshers, pog-going punks, and glitter kids enjoying the pop beat. Nomi drags you into the last group as the beat hammers, peels off their hoodie, and ties it around their waist as you start to dance. Lil Nas X ends and a hammering synth band you don't recognize rattles the speakers. The bass makes your teeth vibrate as you join Nomi. In seconds, you're sweating in a tangle of bodies, though Nomi is so brightly colored in their neon mesh tank top that they're easy to follow through the bouncing crowd. The music ends too soon. You grab Nomi's slippery arm and pull them away from the crowd of moshers as they rush the stage to get ready for Scritti Legati. The journalist is panting, eyes huge with excitement. Once they catch their breath, they say, "Oh my god, did I even tell you why I was here?" "To dance?" you ask. "Well, yeah, but also, do they have water?" "Only at the bar," and you hold up your bracelet. Red means you can't approach the bar. I know, I grew up in America. I am aware that you can't drink until you're 21, but it's still, I've lived in Germany now for 11 years, and it's such a bizarre concept now. Cause I know 16-year-olds who can, 16-year-olds can drink beer and wine. Whatever. Hard liquor when you're 18. Nomi has a red bracelet too, but after a moment you spot a juice bar along the west wall. Nomi pays $10 for 2 Sprites. What? That is outrageous. Those better be 2-liter bottles of Sprite. Roscoe works in the curtains behind the stage, fiddling with a laptop and some kind of jury-rigged power system. The speakers switch over from canned music to the microphone. The horrible puppet that affronts Scritti Legati introduces the band, then they get right into Dr. Locrian in Jerusalem, apparently one of their hits. But even as the crowd starts to get excited, a chill runs through the people immediately around you. You turn to ask Nomi what's up, but they're gone. Maybe they do have self-preservation instincts. You spot them a moment later following the other Hog Throne manager Fornum and trying to ask him questions. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Isn't that the tagline of my entire life? Something is right? Conversely, it's funny that my Silverfang Ragabash does okay with talking to people, but they have a problem with rage when they need it. I mean, I lost the wolf already once, because I was, like, shifting form too much or something, because I thought it would be funny. Sierra's vibe is like, what if we just did this? What do you think would happen? Gaia regrets ever choosing me to be a werewolf. It takes you another minute to spot the source of the disturbance. 3 men and 1 woman, the men all in hunter camo, the woman in colorless streetwear. The crowd clears away like fish avoiding a shark. You've seen that pattern before. Fear. Fear of rage. They're Garu, and not just any Garu, they're practically incandescent with rage. If they start anything, they're going to trigger mass panic. As Scritti cult offenders, obviously. As Scritti Legati plays obliviously on and most of the crowd ignores them, the Garu approach you. You? What did you do? You're that girl from upstate New York, the apparent leader says, bald with a brown goatee and bright blue eyes. Short, at least compared to the other men, as he's not quite 6 feet. When he stops in front of you, the stink of him keeps rolling like a cloud of poison gas across the trenches. Everyone still near you retreats from the musk, leaving you alone with the other Garu as they fan out. Is that odious scent gift? The leader chews his lip, then says, "You're on my land, and you didn't introduce yourself to Fenris." Oopsies. Do I look like a skinhead to you? They seem nice. Oh, okay, everybody. Let's hear them out. That might be reasonable. We're in an abandoned barn. I don't see you on a throne, hog. What's the prob, dog? Get out of my face before I make bacon. Oh. Hello, I don't believe we've met. Call him a dumb hick? Jesus. All right, this seems like the middle of the road one right here. We're in an abandoned barn in the field in the woods. This land belongs to the earth, not you. That seems like the least controversial, but also not being nice to an obvious fascist. Oh, God. Another fucking hippie, one of the cultists say. Be polite. What the hell's that name? Findlerson, the leader says, his expression carefully neutral. Sierra is right. He knows my name. We serve the earth. We remember our oaths, don't we? Don't we? A touch of rage in his voice, and Findlerson, 6.5 feet tall, 350 pounds or so of brutal, functional muscle, flinches. Yes, Heinrich. They give him the Nordic Germanic names. Ja, Heinrich, Findlerson says. Satisfied, the leader turns back to you and says, my people know me as Heinrich, although you may call me Mr. Boone if you prefer, as I'm not the sort of man who boasts about his accomplishments. You're here with Eldon, right? And Nin? Oh, God. Oh, vegan rice shirt? That's a bad sign even before the lady shirt. I'm... Insert the Simpsons meme of here. I'm in danger. Somewhere you hear Roscoe shout, where the fuck is security? Not much agitates the old man, but you can feel the tide turning against the cultists, and you can see why. Findlerson's jacket has a black sun patch, and he's wearing a vegan Reich shirt. The woman in gray behind him wears a t-shirt that says, not stolen, conquered. Oh my God. Above a map of the continental United States. With security absent, sharps and anti-fascists are closing rank looking for improvised weapons. You might be able to keep the cultists talking to forestall a fight, but on the other hand, you doubt Elton would want you talking to them. Ooh, and you're here with Fenris, the Mad Wolf, except I don't see him in your little pack. Maybe I can keep him talking with insults. Yeah. Why not? Oh, good. Yep. We're all mad wolves, Sierra, Heinrich says. His tone is conversational and bantering, but his companions look like they're in agony, as if any amount of civility is torment. The cultists know what they are. It's the rest of you who have forgotten. Shadow lords plotting with immigrant gangsters. And the immigrant werewolves took our jobs. What the fuck is he talking about? Silverfang's sinking deeper into clannish degeneracy every year. We wanted to work with the other tribes to find strength in all of them. We looked so hard. We looked so hard, but there's none. The Garu of Broadbrook failed, and look at what's left. The girl here lost the wolf, a pathetic cripple. And you're here to what? Rescue her? Is it out of pity? As Skritty Legati finishes Dr. Locrian in Jerusalem and starts up brushed with shadow, dusted with darkness. Stabby rip stab stab. You feel the crowd's mood growing even darker. They've seized full bottles of Sprite from the juice bar, the closest thing they can find to weapons, since there are no cans or glass bottles. If Heinrich notices, he doesn't seem to care. Okay. Okay. I have to decide if I'm escalating or not. I bet they're really cool. I bet you're really cool. I have to decide if I'm escalating this or not. I definitely don't want to stay neutral. I kind of want to call him a mad dog because he's pissing me off. I kind of want to punch him right in his face. But you know what? I don't want to be the person to throw the first punch because someone will notice that it's me, right? It's always fucking me, right? So I don't want to do it, but I do want to insult him. I do want to escalate the situation. And this is not just because that ghoul that I work for called me mentally deficient or whatever it is that he called me. When I say these goons need to go, it's to keep her away from mad dogs like you. The huge cultist and his bearded companion snarl, eager to rip your throat out. But Heinrich steps right up to you. You're trying to see if they'll bark like dogs, won't you? He whispers, eyes boring into you. They will, when I tell them to, and not before. If I have a biscuit, they'll come running. What the fuck are you trying to prove? He shoves you back, then watches you with cold, calculating eyes as you regain your balance. That's when a middle-aged woman dashes her full solo cup over Heinrich's head. Get the fuck out, she screams, and then the whole crowd is screaming. 2 more cups, a mostly full Borg, and a liter bottle of Mountain Dew smack the cultists. Beer and alcoholic Pedialyte What? Slosh over your leather boots. I'm not cool. I don't go clubbing or mosh pitting or anything. I'm not cool, okay? I'm a huge nerd, and I cannot stress how uncool I am. Do people take Pedialyte and put booze into it? And take it to, like, shows and stuff? I mean, one genius. Somewhere, you hear Roscoe shouting, "Where the hell is security?" But you can see at least 4 guys in hog-thrown t-shirts pushing through the crowd. They separate Heinrich and his people from the increasingly furious crowd. Heinrich looks your way with a satisfied smile on his face, despite the white claw dripping from his beard. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. You spot Roscoe in the crowd, shouting furiously. From what you can hear over the band, there are supposed to be more security personnel, and Heinrich never should have gone inside. Roscoe is furious, and it seems like something has gone wrong with Hogthrone already. You try to think it through. The cult is here in the valley because the destruction of the Broadbrook Garu has left a power vacuum. But why are they here specifically at Hogthrone? Do they want Nin, or is this part of a more conventional power grab, an attempt to control some of the considerable money that flows through these illicit clubs? What you need is to see Heinrich not as an individual, but as the center of a knot of spiritual forces working on him. Whoa, these aren't your thoughts. They're mine. I actually have some more thoughts to share. The Cult of Fenris is planning something here. You must know what it is. Yeah, I really would like to know. Kyle based Heinrich and his pack of Get a Fenris who played in his games and were very problematic. You know what? I believe that. I 100% believe that. I sharing no stories about it at all. I have interacted with some people who are very much like that. I think the Pedialyte thing is like mixing Red Bull and booze. Helps with the hangover. Yeah, because like Pedialyte is something you give to like kids when they're sick, right? Like when they it's a kid's version of like Gatorade or Powerade, right? Isn't that what Pedialyte is? How's the hangover? That is so interesting. I'm gonna have to like look that up because I find that so super interesting. Yes. I want to know what the Cult of Fenris is planning, honestly. What are the Get doing? Must I? A wounded and mistreated spirit recently returned to her home territory to find it overrun by mad wolves. What must I know, Sierra? If I weren't bound to Broadbrook Cairn, all I would know is the storm, and I would look down with divine pity upon my cousins, those imprisoned in wires and cables. To their credit, they refused to bow down and do what Roland wanted. Roland? The bearded fellow. He cannot wait to offer himself to Fenris. Ignore her, Elton says. The flickering lights turn his face red-orange, then blue-green, then back as he strides through the crowd towards you. The Falcon of Doors died when the cairn fell, but the Stormcat might as well have. She's mad and she can't help you. Well, that's obvious. It doesn't mean she's not awesome. I don't think we should seriously consider the diagnosis of a man who keeps a giant oil painting of his dead wife above the fireplace, Sierra. You will note how his tone holds a mix of scorn and pity, as if I were the mad one here, not him. But we'll talk later. The confusion of perspectives vanishes as suddenly as the Stormcat does. Useless creature, Elton says. Anyway, what are the cultists planning? I don't know, you say. Their leader was cagey. What the hell are they planning? Elton mutters. We should probably protect Nin. Why would they be here except to hassle her? Absolutely valid point, Sierra. Good job, me. I know. I mean, back when I played the demo, I had this feeling just based on the way that she's written, that she's like not all there, that she's like, you know, a spirit corrupted in some way. So I do feel bad that that's being confirmed, just because I think she's awesome. That seems like the most likely explanation, Elton says. The cultists hate weakness. A Garu who's permanently lost the wolf might count as prey. I'm going to keep my eyes on her. You can't see the cultists. Instead, you try to follow disturbances in the crowd, because part of the crowd is furious. Security is working to control the crowd's rather large anti-fascist contingent, but for some reason, no one is throwing the cultists out. You're a no-show promoter, but that seems like such a bad idea to you that you don't think it's a mistake. Who is letting them stay? What happened to the woman in gray who was with the cultist? She just vanished? She's the one wearing, like, the vegan Reich shirt, right? I didn't realize she was important. I just thought she was with them. So that makes me curious now. I thought she was just, like, part of the cult. I didn't think she was someone important. One nice thing about a party in an old tobacco barn is that you can just look through the slats to see outside. Outside you see smokers, people taking calls, and a big, crudely rigged up junction box covered in wires that run into the barn and then down toward the street. You spot her outside on the far side of the barn from the white farmhouse smoking a cigarette. You get a good look at her when the headlights of a parking car slice across the field, messy auburn hair, colorless eyes, a gray scarf around her neck. She's wrapped her gray cardigan around her t-shirt, probably to avoid getting her ass kicked now that she doesn't have her bodyguards. The woman's fingers gleam with occult rings whose nature and provenance you don't recognize, but you do recognize that they're silver. She's not Garu. I mean, you can be in Hamid form and wear silver if you really want to. I mean, I don't know why you would, but you can. The woman might know something, but she's definitely some kind of occultist. You would need to impress her with your occult lore to get anywhere with her. We're all about impressing people. That's all we do. Yeah. Sure. We're so very impressive. Oh, that wasn't... Oh, she was wearing Not Stolen, Conquered. That's the shirt she was wearing. Right. The Conquered, Not Stolen shirt. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to talk to her? Oh, God. The occultist watches your approach, her expression haughty and unafraid. That's not surprising. She didn't seem to fear the cultist either. Oh, God, she knows about us. You're Elton's pup, she says. It would be nice if people stopped referring to you that way. Sierra, you say. Gisela, is this supposed to be, if it's supposed to be German, because Dedekind, Gisela Dedekind, or Giselle Dedekind, I'll just say Giselle. She says, holding out a hand to shake. You ignore your instinctive fear of her silver rings and take it. This close, you can see the scars on her wrists. She snatches her hand back and covers them with her cigarette-burned sleeves, but you don't think she's just a cutter. You think those scars formed patterns. You're not Garu, you say. Oh, Giselle says, her tone dripping with contempt. What am I then? A witch, you say, scanning her various magical trinkets. You note her t-shirt. And a fascist? She flicks some glowing cigarette cinders at you, then seems surprised that you don't flinch. Incredible work, Giselle says. You really got me figured out. But I suppose knowledge can only take people so far. For the real work, you need courage. Will. The sort of discipline that I doubt Elton's pet really has. Why don't you look up witchcraft on Wikipedia or something and let me finish my cigarette in peace? I always get nervous when occulty people use the word will. You know when not to push your luck, so you head back inside just as Scritty Ligotti finishes up their set. There's no time for canned music this time, as Saint Homunculus doesn't have a puppet lead singer to hang from the rafters before their set begins. The frontman tests his mic and launches immediately into a crowd pleaser, Cry Havoc. You heard this one when researching the band. Yeah, so what have we learned? I hope Elton has uncovered more information, because I have diddly, so sorry about it. The cult of Fenris, I decided to speak with the crazy fascist lady for some reason, because I'm smart like that. The cult of Fenris chieftain, or whatever he wants to call himself, is Oliver Boone. and he works for a company called Huvud Development, a real estate and brokerage firm. And apparently they're in protracted legal disputes with every club in the valley, including Hog Throne. You glance up at the rafters of this decaying barn. The question is obvious. Who would ever want this hulk? I have an idea, Elton says to your unasked question. The cult doesn't care about the farm. They're trying to exert control over the clubs because clubs are good sources of revenue. And the cult of Fenris have cash flow problems. Well, obviously they would, wouldn't they? If you're just, the Conquered Not Stolen shirt as well. Yeah, I just realized we haven't actually talked to Nin. No, not yet. I know my priorities. So it's just a dumb shakedown. These cultists are idiots. I'm wondering if maybe we can shake down the shakedowners. The cult are straightforward, and their plans seem to be raising... I really like the cult of Fenris in W5, so I'm sorry. It's like totally where my brain went to, because I want to know as much about them as I can. Or like as much as the story will tell me about them. The cult are straightforward, and their plan seems to be raising revenue by threatening soft targets, Elton says. But the existence of Huvud development indicates that some of them have long-term plans. Still, Hog Throne is the problem in front of us tonight, and that's all I know for sure. They might still be at it. I saw one of them in lupus form outside. I think he was checking out the wiring. Elton looks around. Actually, where does the power for all of this come from? You've noticed the messy wiring. Now you peer out of one of the slats and look around. You know your way around electrical hookups, especially given where you have to live. Power seems to come from a jury-rigged line from the main road. You point it out to Elton. The electrical is a mess around here, you say. But Elton's eyes are narrowed. The bearded cultist Roland is looking around backstage. He backs off gracefully when a security guy notices him, but he's up to something. Elton says. At first I thought their plan might be to cut the power, maybe to grab Nin or something. But I don't think they care about her. I think they're going to do something worse. I think they're going to send a warning to the other clubs that if you don't do business with Huvud Development, you suffer. Electrical arson, you say. Elton thinks, picking his next words carefully. Maybe the cult are only here to frighten the owners of Hog Throne, Elton says as Nin strums her guitar and an expectant hush falls over the crowd. Maybe they know almost nothing about Nin. If that's the case, why don't we... He trails off. What, you say? I'm just saying, the Theurge says, still choosing his words carefully, that if we let the cult do what they want to do, Nin's rage might be enough to reawaken her wolf. Ooh. A lot of people think this is inspired by Skritty Legati, the Saint Homunculus frontman says on stage. Actually, we just misheard some Carly Simon lyrics. This is Clowns in My Coffee. When I was a kid, I absolutely never believed it was clouds in my coffee. I thought she was saying clouds in my coffee. And if I sing that song to myself, I still say clowns in my coffee. The crowd howls with excitement and people pour into the mosh pit. You move Elton towards the juice bar so you can hear yourself think, and you say... So either the fire kills everyone or Nin transforms and she kills everyone. Good plan, Elton. Great idea. Because that is the very first thing I thought of. There's a bathroom on the right. Yeah. I love misheard lyrics. It's one of my favorite little niche things. First, Elton says, it's a rotting tobacco barn. There are 2 main doors plus the side door, and if that doesn't work, you can push through the walls. People can get out. This seems like a bad idea. And I should know. I do a lot of the bad ideas. Second, we need Nin to remember the wolf. Isn't there some other way, you ask? There's a rite, Elton says, a long, complicated, and expensive rite that will drain our land's spiritual resources. We can conduct the rite and hope it works and that our damaged land can survive the drain, or we can use the energy that these idiot cultists have already brought to Hog Throne and do something smart for once. Saint Homunculus switches to Who Smites the Tiger, a high-tempo song that throws the mosh pit into happy chaos. You spot Nomi dancing amid a sea of glitter and neon, chrome and black leather as the scene kids collide with the metalheads on the dance floor. You also spot Mr. Gorski skulking through the crowd, his eyes cold and predatory like a professional assassin's. Come on, I'm not that stupid, am I? That guy is gross, but you don't have time to worry about hippie creeps since Elton is pushing his point. Wait, why am I even arguing with you, Elton? Why am I arguing with a woman? Get in the car! Do as I say, cub. Check the barn doors while I slip backstage. You cross your arms over your chest. You take the litany seriously, but Elton isn't the leader of your pack. You don't have a pack. And Elton's plan involves rending the veil and possibly burning people alive. The Thaird growls in frustration, but he's unwilling to force the issue. You haven't known Elton for long, but you suspect that he lacks the high-handed arrogance that categorizes other Shadow Lords. All right. Can't let the cult burn down a concert. That's crazy. It is crazy. The cult is going to hurt a lot of people, Elton. We need to stop them now before someone dies. Factual. Actually, maybe you're right. I want what Nin knows. We should let them start the fire. Nin didn't start the fire. On second thought, I guess you're right about long-term planning. We can't waste our land's spiritual energy to protect a barn. But is arson the answer to this? I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like arson. I'm not a fan of this idea. And I also don't want Nomi to get hurt. I like them. They seem fun, and they danced with me, and they didn't reject me like everyone else does. The cult is going to hurt a lot of people, Elton. We need to stop them now before someone dies. Elton glares, eyes blazing, but then, to your surprise and considerable relief, he backs down. Oh my god. We'll work subtly to stop the cultists, he decrees, at least at first, and if that doesn't work, we'll tear them apart. Thanks. St. Homunculus finishes Who Smites the Tiger and switches to an instrumental number, Synthwave Was Never Good, which sounds like the entire soundtrack of Top Gun played in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. You have to move even farther from the stage to hear each other. Elton tries to keep his eyes on the electrical snarl next to the stage. I'm going to go to break really quick. I keep shifting around in my chair because my dog is underneath me and he's making it really difficult for me to sit properly. So just give me like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. You always support punching Fash? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so what are we all conspiring about in the shadows? Nomi asks, materializing out of nowhere like a cat. Nomi? Elton asks. You were at my bookstore last week. You own a bookstore? Nomi asks. Well, not my bookstore, Elton says. Are you enjoying my party? More than those creeps you've been watching, Nomi says. I know who they are. Is Elton insinuating this is his party? Your phones both buzz. Nomi has sent you an email entitled Huvid Development with Attachments. They probably sent it a few minutes ago, and the bad Wi-Fi means it took a while to reach you. Huvid Development is a family-owned, vertically integrated construction services company located in the Pioneer Valley. We work with clients on residential, commercial, industrial, and institutional projects of all sizes. Photographs follow. Roland Rothko, GRI Realtor. That's the guy with the long beard. They've tried to clean him up and stick him in a suit for this picture, but he looks like a wolf in a suit. Alan Epson, licensed broker. The very wide gentleman, also wearing a suit in this pic. He looks like the sort of cartoonishly huge white goon the hero fights in a kung fu movie. From here, there's a link to a Boston Globe article on Irish-American punk clubs pushing back against white nationalists. Nomi has identified Alan Epson as one of the latter, who calls himself Findlerson. Oliver Boone III, marketing manager. That's Heinrich. He's the only one you'd trust to wear a suit. You wouldn't trust him with anything else, but he cleans up fairly well. The woman in gray is on the next PDF, identified at a Kansas City New Age convention as Giselle Dadekind. She looks like a corpse in the attached picture. She doesn't look great now, but the 2-year-old picture makes her look like she's got some Victorian wasting disease. All right. How many vampires are here, guys? Please. Enjoy, Nomi says. They spot someone they know and hurry away as Elton frowns, then checks his phone. This intel looks good, he says. I'm just not sure we want a journalist hanging around. We absolutely need new allies and new ideas. We shouldn't reveal anything, but I think we should work with Nomi. I'm not losing Nomi. I don't really know them, but they were nice to me and they danced with me, and I'm not letting go of that right now, Elton. Up yours. Let me have a friend, okay? Even if they're weird conspiratorial journalist friend, I want them. Let me have them. Give me this. Elton nods vaguely, more interested in what Nomi's files contained than anything else. You skim the attachments again, committing faces to memory. This sure is thorough, Elton says, but then he glances up and says, no time for a leisurely read, Sierra, they're moving. I'm a slow reader. When you look up, the hirsute cultist Roland is drifting towards the stage, not driving. That'd be really dangerous. So, Sierra, I hope you have a plan to stop them, Elton says. Punch in the face. Because if it doesn't work, I'll be ready. He unties his bootlaces, getting ready to change in case things go badly. Oh, God. So now you need to stop Roland. He's probably going to spike the power, triggering an electrical surge that will start a fire. Someone with knowledge of mechanical and electrical engineering could stop him if she didn't mind eating a few thousand volts if she messes up. I don't mind. But there's also a laptop beside the stage. At first you think it's tracking volume levels, but no, those are voltage levels. Could you use that system instead? You could also just beat Roland senseless. If you can sneak up on him and hit him hard enough before he changes, you can knock him out, and that would solve the problem. Wouldn't be easy though, even in Hamid form, Roland looks tough. Another concern, if the power is coming from the road and you only see one cultist, where are the other two? Maybe you should see what's going on outside. Okay. I think I should see where the other cultists are, because this might be a trap. This might be a diversion to what they're actually doing. Because I'd much rather know what Heinrich is doing, because this is Roland, not Heinrich, not their little leader, right? So I think I'm going to go look outside. This is probably a mistake. This is probably going to get the building burned down, but I'm all about making good choices. You hurry outside past the smokers, following the snarled electrical lines past the jury-rigged junction box and the boarded-up farmhouse to the edge of the parking lot. From there, you can look down at the road. Heinrich is up on the utility pole, his face dimly illuminated by his phone as he texts. It looks like he has to coordinate this operation with Roland, which means that if you could distract him by, say, throwing knives at him, hey, we have throwing knives, but I didn't get any dots in archery, and knocking him off the pole, you could ruin their whole plan. Yes. Ooh. Or I could, okay. Toss a knife up into Heinrich. I shift into my Glabro form, giving me the strength and accuracy I need to knock Heinrich off that utility pole. Yeah, let's try that one, because I have no dots in archery. I know that because I didn't take any, because I said, when am I going to have to, what year is it that I'm going to have to use archery? All right, let's try it. Don't lose the wolf. Your muscles bunch and swell as you gain in height and strength. Once the pain fades, you take out a throwing knife. Move around I'm still going to use a throwing knife. So Heinrich is better outlined by the lights from the barn, and throw. The blade hits Heinrich's phone, knocking it out of his hand and down to the asphalt below. You bitch, Heinrich shouts. That was a Samsung Galaxy. The fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard. You aim your next knife at his eye. He catches it in mid-throw, sneers at you, realizes too late that he's off balance, and falls with a startled scream to join his Samsung Galaxy on the asphalt. Oh no, did you kill him? It's illegal to throw knives at someone until they die. It's illegal to throw anything at someone until they die. But no, you can see him painfully shifting into Glabro form and starting to heal. Someone fell, one of the smokers outside shouts. Good Samaritans run for Heinrich, so you head back towards the barn. With the plan ruined, Roland shoves past you, almost knocking you to the ground to reach Heinrich. He doesn't recognize you. Hey, we did it! We did a thing! And we didn't mess it up! It's illegal to throw knives at someone until they die, I know. It's the funniest line I've heard. We didn't die! It's amazing! We did it! You head back inside and spot Elton looking tense and ready to change. He only relaxes when he sees you walking calmly through the crowd. St. Homunculus finishes their interrupted song and switches over to one of their biggest hits, Dirty Planets. Enthusiasts pour into the mosh pit. Empty Borgs fly, bouncing off the rafters. Roscoe sticks a security guy at the main entrance and another at the real bar to stop underage kids scoring so many White Claws. He keeps an eye on a healed but still rumpled-looking Heinrich who is arguing with Roland, trying to blame the hirsute Garu for the failure. The witch Giselle watches the screaming match, then she stalks away, moving with purpose. What's she up to, do you think? Elton asks. He moves to follow her out the door, then stops. And wait, where's the big bloke? Vindlerson. Should I follow Giselle, you ask? While I look for Vindlerson, yeah, Elton says. Maybe we're not done here. You step back outside. The air is cool now, the wind blustery, carrying with it the smell of spring flowers. Giselle cuts through the lot, watching the woods on the far side of the field. She stops, checks her phone, frowns, keeps moving. You're definitely not done here. I'm sick of this witch. I follow her stealthily, not interfering, curious about where she's going. Yeah. The witch cuts between two parked cars, slips around a minivan, and then heads towards a broken-down shed previously hidden in the darkness. Findlerson is there, a hulking shadow against the black sky. He lights a cigarette and passes it to Giselle, who inhales deeply as the big Garu studies the barn. God, tongue-tied. He's not looking your way, though, so you're able to creep toward them through the high grass. Dumb plan, Findlerson is saying. Too complicated. We should just move on the cairn. The spirit that rules there, the answering tiger, would turn you inside out, Giselle says. Give me more time to... We've given you time, Vindlerson snarls, and you've given us only names. Isn't that useful, though, when you face Eater of Names? Giselle says. Her tone is mocking, heedless of the rage that boils off the huge werewolf. Eater of Names? Sounds like a werewolf deed name, and another mention of the answering tiger. Findlerson checks his phone. The police are moving, he says, gesturing with his phone into the woods. A stupid mistake, Giselle snaps. The story was supposed to be illegal club burns down, and now it's going to be cops hassle local kids. You failed. Why can't you admit it and change your plans? Findlerson seems ready to explode at the witch, but you have another problem, which you can see now that Findlerson has drawn your attention to it. A car's dome light is visible beneath the tree branches. That's a cop car. You count at least 2 cruisers and 2 vans, one of them a news van. No Wi-Fi means that your best hope is an old-fashioned call. Roscoe is the oldest, so you hurry back towards the barn and try him. He picks up on the first ring. What? His voice staticky over a kick drum. Cops and news crews are outside, you say, part of Heinrich's plan. On it, Roscoe says, and hangs up. That's when the cops turn on their high beams and sirens and roll into the parking lot like they're storming the beaches at Normandy. You blink and shield your eyes from the glare. Ooh, I got a trophy or achievement. Stop the Cult of Fenris from ruining the Hog Throne show. Party on. Amazing. So this is written permission from the property owner, Roscoe tells the sheriff, handing him a photocopy. It lists the dates and addresses, and this, he rummages through his backpack, then hands a municipal police officer another sheaf of papers. This is permission from the town for a music event on this date. You'll see it's notarized. I've gone ahead and emailed you copies of all the relevant PDFs. The sheriff and the Hadley police officer stare at each other, then look back at the dozen cops and deputies they rounded up to shut Hog Throne down. Interesting there aren't any EMTs or firefighters among them, Elton whispers to you from his spot on the grass. Just a news crew. Sorry you didn't get to outsmart the Cult of Fenris your way. I hope we can still heal Nin. I do. You might not like how I do it, Elton says. The reporter looks miserable. She keeps staring at the barn as if it might still burst into flames and give her a good story. That's horrific. The cameraman is having fun filming the crowd. When you called Roscoe, he ordered security to slap drinks from the hands of the under-21s and move the more dangerous-looking elements outside in case the police attacked without cause. Tattooed anti-fascists and bright-eyed crust punks are staring the cops down, and Bonnie Prince Harley looks ready to charge in with his motorcycle costume, but the cops look defeated. So, is everything in order? The old man asks. The sheriff shoves the wadded-up paper into Roscoe's chest and storms off. I need someone to unlock my friends, Roscoe says. Elton and a black woman you haven't met before are sitting on the grass in handcuffs. A Hadley police officer pushes you away from Elton, then grudgingly frees both of them. The cameraman records every second of it. Oh, because they're black? I'm like, what? Because they're black? Oh my god. So does Nomi. You spot Heinrich and the other promoter, Fornum, talking with a plainclothes police officer beside the van. The detective, or whoever he is, shakes his head angrily and signals for the police to roll out. They don't even stay to watch out for trouble, though the journalist keeps recording. Nomi tries to cheer up the reporter, telling her that maybe something will burn down next week. Don't cheer her up. She's obviously a lunatic. A bass line starts up back inside. Saint Homunculus isn't done. The cultists are gone, and so is the other promoter, Fornum. People are swarming back inside to catch the rest of the show, screaming with excitement after the adrenaline spike of the aborted raid. God. Did the cult of Fenris just call the cops and a TV crew to stop a werewolf attack? Yeah. They were planning on setting the place on fire and had like preemptively called them that the place was on fire. Yeah, she should the journalist should just follow me around for all the stupid things I do. Obviously, the cult of Fenris didn't send their A-team for this mission. Saint Homunculus is only supposed to play an hour-long set, but they promise to stretch it out 1 minute longer for every t-shirt they sell. Roscoe empties the bin halfway through the next song. Though you've thwarted the cult of Fenris, you and Elton remain on high alert. You watch Roland as he slinks around the edge of the barn, but Hogthrone security is watching the cultists now, and they're not allowed back inside. Elton monitors the electrical equipment around the stage so no one can get close. It's pretty boring because you can't pay attention to the music, but finally you hear rumors about an after show. The farmer kids are already fading, getting ready to pack it in for the night. A few minutes later, St. Homunculus reprises Who Smites the Tiger to stamping applause. But finally, the show is over. The hard-packed earth in the barn rumbles beneath your feet as trucks roll out of the impromptu parking lot. An unplugged electric guitar jangles behind you. It takes you a second to recognize the guitar riff from Firestarter. We haven't seen them since the police left, you tell Nin. Dressed in a tattered muscle shirt with styled yellow claw marks on the shoulder, Nin's fingers constantly work the frets of her guitar. She looks small but fit, and her shaggy black hair is chopped short. Even in the dim light, you see the warm red-brown cast to her skin. Somewhere in her complicated and supernaturally blessed family line is Native American ancestry. The way she moves is never quite right. Even if she's lost the wolf, she looks like one, alert and predatory. You instinctively know to keep farther away from her than from a human. Elton wants me to come with you, Nin says, not meeting your eyes. That was the plan, but can you help? Can you change? We know the answer to that already, but I think would be nice for her to tell us. Her eyes narrow. You see anger and frustration there, but only a dim flicker of rage. I've seen things you can't imagine, Nin says. I don't want to be what I was. I don't want to be a monster. There's more to being Garu than rage. How can you be a child of Gaia if you can't channel your spiritual half? What if I want to live a normal life, Nin says. Before you can answer. So Elton wanted to let Hogthrone burn, did he? Nin says. Yes, but you'll notice that he didn't. That counts for something, right? Please don't hate me. I have enough people who hate me. Nin says, unconvinced. She strums a few chords of Nick Lowe's Cruel to Be Kind. Somehow she plays the song sarcastically. It'll count against us that we didn't, Elton says, separating himself from Roscoe as the latter helps break down the sound system. The Garu refuse to systemize their supernatural arts, and they suffer for it. Neither of you will enjoy the price we have to pay to heal Nin. The Galliard watches the Theurge. She's as wary as a cornered fox. Are we the only survivors? Nin asks Elton. The Theurge shakes his head. Patrick Hodge is in Holyoke, and Melody is up in Ashfield. And of course there's Roscoe and some of the other survivors from among the three families. So when can we perform the rite to help Nin regain the wolf? It's not like we can just mix up a rite like a college freshman whipping up a what am I drinking anyway? Elton has been holding the same solo cup since the cops left. The Black Christmas contains vodka, cherry liqueur, maple syrup, and creme fraiche. Okay, you had me right up until the creme fraiche. I'll pass. What? Jesus Christ, Elton says. He takes a sip. Anyway, we'll need to make careful preparations, and the drain on our spiritual resources will be incredible. But it's either that or beat Nin until she either dies or changes, and maybe that means I'm not much of a Shadow Lord, but I'll not be doing that. You're not stealing my guitarist, are you? The band's lead singer asks. He nods to Elton, then studies you with an obvious interest before shaking your hand. Ew. I'm Trevor. A big Mexican guy in his mid-20s with long, wavy black hair and a Cyndi Lauper t-shirt that depicts a girl with a new wave hairdo and a giant axe. His easy smile doesn't quite conceal his suspicion. Elton is my friend, Nin says. He has a job for me. It won't interfere with your touring, Elton says. That's easy to promise, since St. Homunculus can't afford to leave the valley. Elton is awkward around new people, but Nin is adamant, and she has a certain cat-like stubbornness when she wants something. And Trevor is just her band's frontman, not her employer. It's not like he has any real leverage. He gives Elton one last skeptical look, then heads back to chat with the rest of the band. I'm Trevor, and I'm in a band. Yeah, that's exactly the vibe I got out of it. Gross. So Nin is coming with you. While Roscoe drives, Elton tells Nin about your arrival and the fight against the Fomor David Beninsky. Nin looks pained. They should never have done that to Jasper, she says. It's like we create monsters so we can fight them and justify our existence. Elton doesn't respond. After less than half an hour, the van rolls to a halt in the turnaround between Elton's apartment and the parking garage. You can stay in my spare room until we get you set up, Elton says. Roscoe raises an eyebrow. What? I'm a gentleman, Elton says. Do you want to watch her? Nope, Roscoe says. And I don't want her meeting the Gaultiers, Elton says. Besides, Sierra can vouch that I'm harmless, even a bit dull, and this is only a temporary solution. Nin seems entirely unconcerned. She grabs her guitar and backpack and hops out the van, followed by the Theurge, who is telling her about the rite he hopes to perform. It takes another 10 minutes for Roscoe to reach your little cabin. You feel energized all the way home, but the exhaustion hits you the moment your leather boots hit the dirt road in front of your door. You spend a half hour searching online for any news of the show, just to make sure no one snapped a picture of a weird dog, because the cultists got sloppy, but there's nothing. You did it. You and Elton successfully retrieved a member of the old Broadbrook cairn. Well, part of her. You and Elton are going to need to carry out the rite to restore Nin's rage, and you know it won't be easy. But once you've done that, you can look for the other two survivors. All that is for tomorrow. Ears still ringing from the show, you sink into a deep sleep and dream of that horrible puppet that danced in the rafters of the barn. You see it behind you, shaping your every action, whispering in your ear that you're free to choose. Dang, we did it. I feel so proud of us. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. I should probably, I'm just going to, out of curiosity, I'm going to stop soon because my voice is absolutely dying. I just want to see, do I have experience points? Oh, he's once, yeah. Let me just, thank you. I just want to see, free days 9. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Okay. I was just curious if I had stuff. That's pretty sweet. All right. I do. I'm so excited. Werewolves is a dog-eat-dog world out there. Absolutely. Look, if I ain't fuckface, look, if it ain't fuckface of the shitheads, I'm walking. That's amazing. Wanted to cut away to the local college sorcerer cabal whipping up a ritual they found on WikiLeaks. Yep, totally. Only it's a recipe for cheesecakes with laxatives in it. Perfect. I want that. I want that for me too. Yeah, so we did it. We stopped the cult of Fenris from burning down where Nin was performing, possibly killing Nin and a lot of other people. We did good. We did the thing. We have 9 free days now to get some experience, and I think we're doing great. I think we're the best werewolf ever right now. Actually, we're not terrible at all. I don't know why. I don't know why so many people dislike us. We're actually the greatest. But thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely love the commentary as Sierra, Gaia's deadliest weasel, makes all the terrible decisions. But sometimes, because a broken clock is right twice a day, sometimes makes all the right decisions. But I will be back next Thursday playing this again next week. Thursday and Friday until I finish it. I don't know how long it's going to take me, probably a long time, but I'm enjoying every single second of this game. It's amazing. But thank you everyone so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.